Hello everyone, Manthrow here, and welcome to the update for this week, which is actually not a whole lot. It's mostly just patch notes again. I know I didn't upload a video last week for the updates because, again, it was just patch notes, which is good but bad at the same time because it covers a lot of, tweaking, fixes and stuff like that, but it's not really content that, we're looking forward to or expecting type deal. But anyway, for this week we had Dbl Xp weekend announcement. We had Balthazar's big raffle is actually coming next week, but they're announcing it this week. This way you can get ready for it. And then also it's another patch week. Alright, so if you remember Balthazar's big raffle, you'll get so many tickets, and then each day of the week you'll be able to enter in for different prizes. It starts September 1st and it runs until October 5th. So you'll be able to claim your prize starting September 1st. It doesn't say exactly what time, but usually it's around 12 UTC. This way, so it's kind of like midday, on the 1st, which that means for, the Eastern time, for the U.S. time zones, whether it be the Eastern or Western time zones, you just got to keep in mind you want to get on and take care of that and get your tickets before it switches over, because it does switch over pretty early, 7-8 o'clock, depending on your time zone. But anyway, the prizes for this time around is for Mondays. That means all Mondays. In that time frame from September 1st until October 5th, have these prizes. So the Mondays will have golden god swords. It doesn't specify which ones, but I do believe it is only the God Wars Dungeon 1 god swords. It's never been God Wars Dungeon 2 god swords or god weapons, so do keep that in mind. And there's 2,500 that can be won. Tuesday is 2 portable deposit boxes. 40,000 of those that can be won. Every Wednesday is going to be 3 large Protean packs. 20,000 of those can be won. And every Thursday, Golden War Priest armor sets, which is 5,000 sets each time. Now that should also only be the ones from the God Wars Dungeon, well, the ones that you can get in God Wars Dungeon 1, which I believe is only the Zamrock and Saradomin versions. They may have added more, but it does not say anything exactly here. So, and then every Friday is going to be a huge favorite for people. Is the 3 Death Touch darts, and 20,000 people can get 3 sets of those. Now, what that means, what a Death Touch dart is that it's a one-hit KO on most anything. There is certain bosses that are excluded, so do keep that in mind. Not to mention, it can actually mess with some of the mechanics, because I actually used one with Araxi and Araxor once before, and I forget which one is first. I believe Araxor is first. I killed Araxor, and then the second fight with Araxi automatically started. I didn't get a chance to loot at all. So do keep in mind that there could be certain bugs with different types of bosses. Saturday, well, every Saturday is going to be Golden Barrows, which is your Guthans, Erhems, Varax, Arcasay, Dorax, Karils, and Torag. Lenses has not been added yet or won't be, which is a grand total of 7,000 of those can be won per Saturday. And on Sunday, we have the new edition, which is the Golden Chaotix. So you have your rapiers, longswords, claws, spear, staff, and crossbow. They've also included the offhand versions of those. So if you get the main hand rapier, you might also get the offhand rapier. It doesn't say if you get the set, but it does say they have included the offhand versions. So hopefully, maybe I'll get one of those prizes, and then I can tell you guys for sure if you get both main and offhand, and that's actually considered a set. Because it doesn't actually say in the description above either. but 3,500 people will be able to get those, which is still quite generous. Iron Man and free to play are not allowed to participate in this content. Okay, Dbl Xp weekend is coming up. I will actually leave a link in the description below, leading you to this page right here. Went over this in a previous video. There's actually a good amount of information. This way you guys are able to come in, look at the link, and then go from there, see if there's anything you need to prepare for or bundle up for, or however you want to look at it. There's patches galore, so we'll get into that shortly. So we also have the Twitch Prime, which is the exclusive Umbral items yet. Also do keep in mind, if you are an Iron Man, you will not be able to claim your Umbral chest, treasure hunter keys, but you will be able to get the rune coins. So for Lootscape this week, or this month yet, do remember you can still get the Elite Skilling outfit piece, and if you are an Iron Man, remember you will get the deep sea fishing emote. And live streams this week is Friday, August 31st at 1600 UTC, patch new teasers, and then September 2nd, which is Sunday, at 1800 UTC is PVM with Mod Lee. Now again, I will have this here linked in the description below. This way you can go through and plan accordingly to what you might want to do this week. And as you can see, there is actually a big bundle of patch notes, which is usually fantastic. Usually. Okay, so for PVM, PVM and combat, dormant anima core drops have been removed from broadcast. Abomination capes, cape drops, and now broadcast to the current world. Added a respective monster name to the Champion Scrolls broadcast. Mod Meadows has received Champion Scroll, and this is Goblin. The reprisal ability can now be manually triggered again after using it to return the damage to your opponent earlier. Havoc and Smash's shared cooldown is now shown correctly in the ability icon cooldown clocks. Cleave's cooldown clock is now displayed correctly when activated by its shared cooldown with the Dragon Halberd special attack. Fixed an issue where Tuska's Wrath would go on cooldown even if a player had not selected a magic attack whilst using magic combat. Veraculous Ricocheted Breath can no longer be healed from with the Resonance ability. Quests. Fix a typo in Pieces of Hate quest. It is no longer possible to get an exclusive amount of the stuff from looting pirate implinks. Zimberfez Chathead will no longer appear after finishing a Soul Wars game if you have completed Nomad's Elegy. Other. Corrected a typo in Daya's dialogue during the Eye for an Eye mini-quest. Typos in Grandabon's Stalker notes resolved. Change Paracape perk descriptions to say Offering Bones instead of Burning Bones. The map link at the entrance of the Lumber's Swamp Caves has been moved closer to the entrance to the Lumber's Swamp Caves. Birthday cake, the 15th anniversary cake, is now known as the anniversary cake, and as such, the text prompts have been adjusted accordingly. The clay quality column of Steel and Creation Kiln interface no longer remains pressed down when the clay quality is changed. Removed a part of fence and added a path into the Wizards Guild's west entrance. Fixed some spelling and grammar issues within the Agent of the Eldest set. The auto disassembler and auto alker should no longer hold reclaimable items such as rune pouches, which was effectively allowing players to receive multiples of these items. Added rune crafting level 2 Cyclone and Mindstorm nodes, and Air and Mine S-Links examines. Elite Unspeakable Horror can no longer spawn in the cave wall. Players may now summon pets in the Dangerous Clan Wars portal. The Torn Grimoire page examine text has been updated. A spelling error within the examine text of the Guthix Dragonhide Vambraces has been fixed. A grammatical error in the Last Rider's book has been fixed. An anti-poison already in effect message no longer appears when drinking Guthix Rest potions while another anti-poison source is active. A grammatical error in the story of Photopus has been corrected. Rare item store shown prices now correctly reflect the actual cost. The rock in the southwest corner of the Grand Exchange will no longer be able to be walked on or over. Redeeming small XP lamps from the Brimhaven Agility Arena no longer shows same message twice. Fix examined for the seeds in Miss Winkin's shop. Players will no longer freeze where they stand in certain instances when teleporting to the Rune Essence mine. Players who have toggled beneficial boosts off will no longer receive pulse core buffs. Sloan will no longer refer to himself as Yidich when attempting to recruit him for while Gothic sleeps. Players can now use a favorited memory strains to teleport to the Gothic's memorial. You can no longer place kickable objects in the wilderness. Player is now unable to teleport to a house while POH is currently being loaded. The trapdoor lever in POH throne room can now only be manipulated on members' worlds to prevent free-to-play from dropped into a dungeon room in which they do not have access, which would kind of suck because then you would have no way getting out unless you teleport, of course. Some teleport locations and warnings for the superior locator have been updated so it will no longer teleport players into inappropriate places and will provide appropriate warnings for locations in the wilderness. The check requirements OP on Master Quest Cape will no longer feed back if you meet all requirements. Fire spirits that spawn whilst using protean logs will now grant rewards based on your fire making level. Players are now prompted to complete the Wanted quest in order to start Devious Mines. Players currently unable to continue the Devious Mines quest will have to complete the Wanted quest to continue. Corrected an issue beginning the cutscene during the Giant Dwarf quest. Corrected an incorrect XP listing on MakeX for Wrapped Umle. Fixed an issue in NXT during the cutscene of the Garden of Tranquility where the roof was blocking the view of the tree. Some hooded capes can now be stored in the POH cape rack. Loot beams and in-game messages will now show the correct drop amount at next. The Paterdamus beacon has been graphically updated when in the warning and emergency states of all fired up minigame. The pet interface now defaults to the correct type of pet when opened with a pet summoned. The loot message for Onyx bolts drop from Calphite King has been adjusted to better represent the amount given. A Ring of Recoil will no longer stunt your progress in the Royal Trouble quest. A small hole in Tuska's back has been patched over. Poor lass. Tuska's dead. The Mask of Mourning now correctly states the ground floor of Mauritania Slayer Tower instead of the first floor. The Love Story quest overview was still using Legacy Combat level in its description. This has been changed accordingly. The text that appears when attempting to buy from a shop with full inventory now correctly fits in its box. Made several changes to an instance section of quests to show more of the surrounding game world in an effort to make the scenes feel more immersive. Quests included in this update: Let Them Eat Pie during the confrontation with Rollo, and Plague's End during the Mourner's headquarters and Ardougne Castle segments. Fixed a typo in the dialogue when handing back in the wedding ring to Angoff. Fixed a typo with the almost made in Ardougne achievement. Jeremy Serval has been renamed to Sammy Serval. It is once again possible to plant various seeds in the wilderness herb patch. Fix a typo when the fishing skill keep perk activates. Fix a typo with Captain Blindage in the One Small Favor quest. Fix a typo prayer when activating curses quick prayer when on a standard prayer book. Futiles in the Wizards Guild have been unnecessarily blocking removed from them. Players that have encountered a bug that stopped them from accessing pest control landers now have their access restored. Crystal trees now move locations at a specific time, starting at 0 game time, moving once every 2 hours. When winning multiple sombreros from Treasure Hunter, players will now correctly receive coins instead of duplicates. The Zenaris cow wheel had a graphical issue, which has now been fixed. Trying to equip player imports armor when not having a defense requirement will no longer change the item. To lose charge. A grammatical issue in the Kindred Spirits quest in relation to Sliske when talking about Guthan's secret has been fixed. The Hylian cape has now had some graphical adjustments and should now look much better with dual-wield-toothed blades. Fix a grammatical oddity in the enchanting interface when enchanting ruby necklaces. The Rune Capers event interface now correctly references if a cloak is unlocked or not. Rune Capers mystery boxes are no longer dropped when received if the player has full inventory. Players that couldn't complete their skilling outfits can find that they'll be able to get the required fragments if they couldn't before. Resolved an issue with the camera sometimes facing downwards when teleporting into Perfindus. Login check has been implemented to make sure the cameras face north without requiring any strange camera rotations whilst logging in. The in-game calendar will no longer flash on each login for players who haven't accessed it yet. Fix a typo with the partially filled jar of hollow memories. Evil Day quest rewards XP is now given out in form of lamps. Fix numerous typos in Evil Day's Big Day Out quest. Correct the typos on the tooltips for Mutated Flurry and Mutated Fury. Elite Dungeon 2 music tracks are now unlocked more consistently when playing in a group mode. Kuroryu Pet now has send home options. Chaos Boots now correctly list the shabby book as the requirement instead of the notched book. Players that suffer arachnophobia will now have the option to flip the Araxor puzzles. I know that'll make some people happy. The buff bar will now display the correct amount of charges when a player using a Sign of the Porter to collect Mortmire fungus. Work on your Artisan's achievement will now correctly unlock requirements corresponding to player's reward shop unlocks. Do Not Elite will no longer be incorrectly achieved upon completing the quest Do No Evil. Corrected a typo in Sliske's endgame quest. Ninja fixes. Adjusted click zones for crawling corpse torsos in the Lumbridge Catacombs. Borthorpe Games Room, Giant Mole, King Black Dragon, and Chaos Elemental are now listed as free to play in the grouping system. Beneath Cursed Tides, Gower Quest, and Let Them Eat Pie are now listed as free to play in Rune Metrics on the RuneScape website. An issue with the world map quest icons for those quests that prevented them from being toggled off has been corrected. Impressing the locals, Sliske's endgame, the Jack of Spades, and Gower's Quest. The tooltip for Dracon's Metal Medallion now lists the remaining teleport charges. The dig site pendant can now be used to teleport to the exam center to the south of the dig site. Tamayu now has the option to trade for spears. Fairy Dossier, the Fairy Tale 3, Economy Building for Dummies, Do No Evil, Felipe's Note, Carnelian's Rising, Ballad, Spirits of the Elid, Dusty Scroll, in Aid of the Marquet, Ransom Letter, Some Like It Cold, Report, Within the Light are now reclaimable from the POH bookcase. Armadillo Communique is available to those who received it from the betrayal route of the Temple of Ikov. Made Necrovarus notes and letter from King Rodolin available to everyone. The Desert Amulet 4 now has the ability to teleport the player to Ruins of Uzur. The original next encounter will now count towards the God Wars Like a Boss daily challenge. Removed references to Fun Orb and Quick Chat options and Stronghold security questions. I miss Fun Orb. Buckets of slime can now be emptied. King Black Dragon Boss instance timer no longer remains after teleporting out. Corrected an issue with requirements to start Legends Quest. The guard outside the Legends Guild will now display the Legends Quest overview screen if you do not meet all the requirements. Wolfbone arrowheads and flighted ogre arrows now have a tip option, make X for fletching. Updated some of the interface elements around divination craters to streamline them with modern interface styles. Brought the divination crater interface to be aligned with the surface world and dungeoneering versions. Updated the Wisp colonies map. The drag sensitivity on the lodestone interface and abilities and items on the action bar has been reduced. Skill tutor icons in the Berthorpe Taverley now display a tooltip when hovered over the world map. Players with non-usable Enchanted Slayer Helm will now be able to convert the item to regular Slayer Helmet. Fix a typo on the Corrupted Eggs Examine. The Ardun Cape Thieving effect now correctly stacks with the Master Thieving skill cape and the Max Cape when the perk is stored in it. And Divine Spirits will once again give XP when wearing the Fire-Making Cape. So that's a lot of patch notes, but thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, later guys.